Frank, and Arlo. Grandpa coming to you from Jack's Beach, Florida. Excuse me. We're in the book of Revelation. We're reading from the Net Bible Reader's Edition, a fantastic edition of the Bible. It's in plain English, so I don't need to spend a lot of time saying, well, this means this and this means that. And I'm not really spending a lot of time interpreting it. So we're essentially just reading through here and letting God's word talk to us. We're at Revelation 10 today, and it's the angel with the little scroll. Now, what has happened before this is you had a big scroll with 7 seals, and it was found that Jesus was the only one who could pop the seals to reveal what was in there, and this is the revelation. The whole book is revealing what's going to happen at the end of time to mankind, to those who are alive and those who are dead. So that he pops these, and as he pops each one, a catastrophe strikes the earth. So you get to the 7th one, and you say, it's the last catastrophe. But no. When he pops that one, 7 angels pop out. So there's a lot of popping. And each angel has a trumpet, and they sound the trumpets one at a time. And then a disaster befalls. Usually it's a third of the earth for something. Just like turning a third of the earth, oceans into blood, and all kinds of things. It's a lot like what happens in Exodus, and we're going to get to Exodus in a couple months as we go pouring through the Bible, because we're starting in Revelation, because that's where I started reading the Bible before I even believed in Jesus. We're going to go on from there to Genesis, but then we're going to alternate from like Genesis to Matthew, then Exodus, and then Mark. We're going to go through it that way until we get closer to the end of both the Old and New Testament, and then we're going to figure out exactly how to make it even out. I haven't thought that far in advance, because that's years from now. Probably I'll be around 80 years old when this whole thing's done. Lord willing. I should say that. We don't have any time promised to us. It's one reason why I'm doing this, so that I can read this to you while I'm still here, because I might not get a chance to do it in person. Revelation chapter 10 is the angel with the little scroll. So now we're going to have another scroll. Let's see what happens to the earth with this. Then I saw another powerful angel descending from heaven, wrapped in a cloud with a rainbow above his head. His face was like the sun, and his legs were like pillars of fire. He held in his hand a little scroll that was open. So we don't have any seals in this one to pop open. And he put his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land. Then he shouted in a loud voice like a lion roaring, and when he shouted, the 7 thunders sounded their voices. When the 7 thunders spoke, I was preparing to write, but just then I heard a voice from heaven say, seal up what the 7 thunders spoke and do not write them down. So there's no seal on this, but the voice from heaven tells John to seal it up. So let's see what happens here. Then the angel I saw standing on the sea and on the land raised his right hand to heaven and swore by the one who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and what is in it, and the earth and what is in it, and the sea and what is in it. There will be no more delay, but in the days when the 7th angel is about to blow his trumpet, the mystery of God is completed, just as he has proclaimed to his servants and the prophets. Then the voice I had heard from heaven began to speak to me again. Go and take the open scroll in the hand of the angel who is standing on the sea and on the land. So I went to the angel and asked him to give me the little scroll. He said to me, take the scroll and eat it. It will make your stomach bitter, but it will be as sweet as honey in your mouth. So he's going to eat this scroll, literally. And it kind of goes backwards. It says it's going to be bitter in your stomach, but when he puts it in his mouth, it's going to taste good. It's going to taste sweet like honey. But then when he swallows it, it's going to be bitter in his stomach. And that's the way that a lot of things are in life. So I took the little scroll from the angel's hand and ate it. And it did taste as sweet as honey in my mouth. But when I had eaten it, my stomach became bitter. Then they told me, you must prophesy again about many peoples, nations, languages, and kings. So next we're going to go on to chapter 11 and talk about these guys called the two witnesses. We have a whole bunch of stuff coming up, including the seventh trumpet. So there were, in that big scroll, there were 7 seals. And then there were 7 angels that came out of the 7th seal of the scroll with the trumpets. 6 of them sounded. But there's one more that's left to sound, and we'll get to that in, let's see. Yeah, that'll be next time we go. Anyway, peace out, gents.